We're going to be getting into rational expressions, and the first thing we need to learn how to do is how to simplify one. So, you only need to remember a couple of important rules. Number one, can you divide by 0? And I certainly hope that this answer is no. So, if there is a variable in the denominator, it means that there is a restriction or an excluded value for that variable. So in this case, if we looked at this example, 1 over x minus 7, if they asked you what is the restriction on x, we would look and we'd say, well, what would it take to make this denominator equal 0? And that will give us x equals 7. So what it really means is that x cannot actually equal 7. So now you try. What would be the excluded value here? What would it take to make this denominator equal to 0? Hopefully you were able to get 3/4. If we check it out, 4x minus 3 is equal to 0. And then we add 3 to both sides, getting 4x equals 3. And our final step would be to divide both sides by 4. So x is 3/4. So more often than not, it's going to take an extra step to find the excluded values. So let's take a peek at this last example. As you can see on your sheet, we have x squared plus 7x minus 18 in the denominator. If we want to know what the excluded values are, we could guess and check all day long, or we could simply factor that denominator. So if we do that, we get x plus 9 times x minus 2. And now we can easily find our excluded values. We want x to not equal whatever it takes to make it equal 0. So x should not equal -9 or +2. And those would be our excluded values. Rule 1, can't divide by 0. Rule 2, please do not fall victim to the mad cancellation disease. You can't just cancel terms if addition or subtraction is present. The second you see a plus or a minus sign, just know that you have more work to do. So you can't just say, hey, I'm going to cancel out my x's, and hey, I'm going to cancel out those 3's, and say that this equals 4x plus 1 on the top and 7x plus 1 on the bottom. Unacceptable. So if you plugged in an answer, -3 or something, this answer over here would not match the other side, and it's because it's incorrect. You have worked my last nerve. So the correct method requires you to just keep factoring. So if you take a look here, we've got 9x squared minus 16 on the top. So that is a difference, a subtraction of 2 perfect squares. Divide that up, 3x plus 4, 3x minus 4. The bottom, oh no, it's not a trinomial. It means it's easier to do. What do 12x and 16 have in common? They have a 4. So just divide that 4 out and leave it in the front of your parentheses. Now, if you have a set of parentheses that match, you can cancel those. It's safe. So we get 3x minus 4 over 4. Again, do not cancel these 4's. Same thing with this example. I have it all factored out for you. We simplified it by taking that 2 out because nobody wants to factor an x squared that has a number in front if they can avoid it. And in this case, I'm going to take out an x and a 4. So you can see what I did. If you need to check it out, pause it. But when we get over here and it's fully factored, you look for matching parentheses, and they must be identical. If they differ in sign, it doesn't work. So I cancel out my x plus 8's, and I'm left with 2 times x minus 3 on the top and a 4x on the bottom. The 2 and the 4x they don't have any addition involved in them, so we're allowed to just cancel those like normal. And our final answer looks a lot cleaner. So, quick recap. Just remember your rules. 1, don't divide by 0. 2, factor before you cancel, and you'll be fine. Will I be back Wednesday afternoon? No. I am on retreat, and I will be back Monday morning. So ask Miss Goldow if you have any questions, and I'll see you then.